Now we will have our first time guest introduction. We have so many guests, so I don't know who to start. Actually, if it's okay, even though we have so many guests, it's going to be really great to get to know each other. So if you can tell us, about you and from which club you are from, and that'd be really awesome. And briefly, you can maybe talk about your background. Thank you. Let's begin with I see. Fursey Gotuaco. Fursey Gotuaco, are you ready to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Fursey, longtime listener, first time caller. Thank you for the pity laugh. I appreciate that. I used to I live in Bangkok. Right now I'm in Tokyo, but I live in Bangkok. Love Toastmasters. Thanks for inviting me, Alicia Curtis.
Thank you so much. And now we have Kate Cole. Kate Cole.
Yeah, hi everyone. Uh, I'm a member of Korean Toastmasters Club. Yeah, so I'm happy to with you tonight. So if you have time, please join our meeting also. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next person is David no, Dave Ross. Dave Ross.
Hi, I am originally from California. The club I'm in the United States is in Oklahoma, Early Risers. And the club I belong to in the Philippines is ESP. I'm currently in the Philippines.
Thank you so much. And the next person that I'm going to call the name is Sonia. Sonia Im.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all. I'm so excited to be part of this wonderful meeting today. And I'm serving as a president of a club named Embassy Toastmasters Club in South Korea. And I am visiting Malawi at the moment. I am spending about 10 days here, and I was willing to be to be part of this club even while I'm away, far away from home. So I'm going to be your timer today. So nice to see you all.
Thank you, Sonia. And next, Mars Mahathir. Mahathir, sorry.
No worries. I know my name can be a mouthful and very difficult to pronounce. My name is Mas Mahathir. Yeah, so the TH is like a sound, yeah. I'm from MII Toastmasters, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. So it's such an honor to be here seeing different cultures, different races. And again, thanks so much, Alicia, for having me here. Such a pleasure. Back to you.
Thank you, thank you. And the next person I have is David Mwangi. David, would you like to?
Hello, everyone. My name is David from Kenya. Joining you from here in South Korea. Nice to meet you all.
You. And next, Raven? No, Robin.
Yeah, both are right. Robin, Raven, Rose by any name is still a Rose. I am from Alor Gajah, Malacca, Malaysia. I'm a member of two districts, a lifelong member of Kota Kinabalu Toastmasters Club in District 87. And District 51, I'm a member of Mid Valley Toastmasters Club. Very soon, I'll be joining District 102 as a member of the Malacca Toastmasters Club. Pleased to meet all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And because we're running out of the time, probably I can like let you introduce all, but just I will call a few other people more, maybe. Ju Young, Ju Young.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ju Young from Panyo Toastmasters, and I just heard about this uh, wonderful opportunity through grapevine. And well, I'm looking forward to mastering effective speaking skills. And I see one of the speakers on the YouTube channel, so I'm feeling very thrilled, actually. Thank you.
Thank you. And the last person that I'm going to ask, Serena Park.
Thank you for calling. My name is Serena. I'm a same area with Young Spirit Toastmasters and also Embassy Toastmaster. Previously, I visited Young Spirit Toastmaster as an area director. This time, as a nobody, I just visited here, but I'll be a speech evaluator for Alicia. So see you later. Good to see you all.
Thank you so much. And now, let's move on. It's really glad that we have these multicultural and wonderful guests from different cultures. And I'm going to lead you through the session by introducing the agenda. You have to remember before we go on, our club has two simple rules. So number one, to encourage our speakers, please try to turn on your camera during the meeting. And second, to be clear meeting, please turn off the mic when you are not directly speaking, please. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Let's begin our meeting. Today, I am your Toastmaster, the MC of the meeting. I will walk through this whole meeting slowly but surely. So let's go through it. There are four main sessions we have. First, Toastmaster session, we will have introductions from different role takers. And second, table topic session. And third, prepared speech session. And lastly, we will have the evaluation session. I'm very thrilled about the panel discussion, the prepared speech session. So Alicia is going to talk about who the panelists are. I know you guys are very excited about hearing it. And next, I choose today's theme question. Can you share an anecdote about a misunderstanding you had? I wanted to actually ask you this question because I need your insightful advice. You know, like I'm very tired mom who's working all day. And whenever I talk to my husband, what I can say is, help me. But I don't say help me, of course. I just say, uh, okay, maybe it's time for, throwing the garbage. Would you like to take those out? And one day he just told me, do I have a sign on my face? Recycle, garbage. Is that my name or something? And I was really shocked because I didn't intend to have the miscommunication or misunderstanding here. But sometimes the misunderstanding can cause different problems or conflict. So I wonder if you have this kind of problem with your family members or your children. So let's share it. It really taught me how crucial it is to put myself in his shoes. And now let's call out our kind-hearted Toastmaster and today's general evaluator, Haekyung Lim, and she's going to call out other role takers too. Please give warm welcoming applause for her, everybody. Haekyung Lim.
Hello, everyone. I'm the General Evaluator, Haekyung Im. So I want to introduce my role as General Evaluator. As you already know, my role is that I needed to keep track of all things happening in our meeting. So at the end of the session, I will give you some reports about some improvements or some good points in the meeting. This is my main role, and then I need to lead the evaluation session. At the evaluation session, And then my second role is that I needed to introduce our great team. So first of all, I would like to introduce our grammarian. Today's grammarian is Rio. Please welcome him to the screen, everybody.
I guess Rio is not yet here, so maybe we could skip first. You can start with a counter and timer.
Okay, so I should have checked to him first. And then for next, I will introduce today's counter, who is David M. Wange. Please welcome him to the screen, everybody.
So, Madam Toastmasters, members of Young Spirit Toastmasters, and our fellow guests for the evening, greetings to you. So, my name is David, and my job today is to listen to everyone who may speak today, and then make note of the use of any words that are either repeated or used to fill those spaces when you're trying to figure out what to say next. So I'll make note of those and then I'll come back and give you a report. So see you during the evaluation session. And also to answer the question of the day about misunderstanding, I'm a Kenyan living here in South Korea. And Kenya is a very small country compared to other countries. And when I say I'm from Kenya, people say, oh, so you're from Canada. And I'm like, no, I'm not from Canada. So depending on how I'm feeling, sometimes I'll just pretend I didn't hear that and say, I'm from Canada, yes, if I don't want to have a long discussion. So, but that's a common thing that I go through living here in South Korea. So thank you and see you soon.
Thank you, M. Wange, and then thank you so much for your great explanation of your role. And then now I'd like to introduce today's timer. Today's timer is Sonia Son-R Rim from ETM. Please welcome her to the screen, everybody.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sonia, and my role is a timer today. And I'm going to keep track of time for table topic speakers and prepared speaker and evaluators. I'm going to raise the color background. Wait, I was able to set my background earlier, but as I am, what do you call it? I am shown as the main speaker. I don't know where I can put the button, but I'm going to change my background to green color when you reach to the minimum time, and red color when you reach the maximum time, and yellow color in between. And I'm going to give you a report when I am called to do. And to answer today's theme question, until I can come all the way over to Malawi from South Korea, I thought it is too far away to come over, but I now realize 2 days is not too long time. And I would like to encourage my friends in South Korea to try it because it's so great to come here and then meet with African friends here. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia, for sharing your experience about misunderstanding. And then now I'd like to invite our grammarian, Rio. Is there Rio now? No? No? And then now I will explain grammarian role briefly, and then as the grammarian will keep track of some kind of good sentences you use in your speaking or check. The grammarian will check some grammatical errors in your speaking. So, and then at the evaluation session, our grammarian will give us some reports about your usages in your speaking. This is the grammarian role. Then maybe I will check until our grammarian will arrive to this meeting. And then now I would like to share my opinion about misunderstanding. I always misunderstand about some kind of things, and then I thought somebody give me some kind of negative opinions, but it was just a great point to improve my situation. So these days I am trying to listen to others. This is my point. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to share my opinion of today's theme question. And now I'd like to return my control back to our Toastmaster, Shaimba. Please, over to you.
Thank you so much. It was incredible, Young. Today's word of the day, everybody, misinterpretation. And if you want to use this word, you're welcome, of course. And also, when you hear this word, you can roll it wrong with your hands. Thank you. And let's move on to our next session, table topic session. It's our second session, and it is going to be led by our amazing, distinguished Toastmaster, Ron Baker. Let's give him a big applause.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. But before I start, I'd like to get clarification on the word of the day. What is the word of the day?
Misinterpretation.
Misinterpretation. I just wanted to confirm. Thank you very much. Misinterpretation. And if you could put that in, oh, there it is in the chat. I am Toastmaster Ronald Baker. Before I get started with the table topics, I'd like to answer the question of the day. For me, a misunderstanding happened when I was in another country. I was introduced to someone, but then I decided to reach out my hand and say my name because I heard my name during the introduction and it wasn't quite the same. I said, my name is Ron Baker. And they said, pleased to meet you, Ryan. And I realized in Australia, they say your name differently. That was my misunderstanding, that my name was pronounced incorrectly when to the person, that's what they heard. 4 table topics for the benefit of time. We will only have 3 table topic sessions, and my job is to explain it first and the timings. In table topics, the purpose of table topics is to facilitate the table topic session where guests and members will have the opportunity to practice their impromptu speaking skills, speaking off the cuff. I will introduce a topic and call on speakers who will be given 2 minutes to speak on the topic. At 1 minute, you're going to see that green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, you're going to see the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, you'll see the red card. And you should make sure that you see the timer before you start. And once that 30 seconds up, the timer will remove that card, but not before. If you go over 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you will be disqualified, or as we say, overqualified. Who is my first victim? I mean, volunteer, guest, or member who'd like to participate in table topics? You can use the raise your hand function so that I can see you because there are so many people in the room. please raise your hand if you would like to answer the question. I don't see any hands yet, so that means I'm going to have to pick someone. And if you decide to participate or not participate, just let me know. I see Rusha Kesh. Rusha Kesh. And then I'm going to get you, I think it's Raven next. Rusha Kesh, your question. You are, or correction, effective communication is a superpower, and you have it. How are you going to use that superpower? Rishikesh, effective communication and speaking is a superpower. How are you going to use your superpower? Rishikesh.
Yes, thank you, Ron. So, yeah.
If I heard the topic correctly, because the audio was not very clear, so I have to clarify the topic. If I had a superpower, how would I use for the purposes of communication? I hope that's what the topic is. Now, if I truly and indeed had a superpower for communications, we know pretty well there's so much of miscommunications for so many reasons, one of which is language. Anyone here disagrees with me? Language is a barrier for communication, yes or no? Anyone disagrees? Thank you. So if I had a superpower, I will only choose one language throughout the whole globe, whatever language it may be. And I'll call it the language of humanity. It can be a mixture of English, a mixture of Korean, a mixture of Thai, what have you, whatever, I don't know. But if I had the superpower, I'll put it all into a melting pot, randomize it, and voila, have a language in which even my pet dog can talk. Won't that be wonderful? It will reduce miscommunication to a large extent. When I travel abroad, you cannot imagine, cannot fathom the type of problems I encounter. I want to change to rupiah. And then when I want the Indonesian rupee, they give me the Indian rupiah. Miscommunication sounds about the same. Dollar. Is it the US dollar, the Australian dollar, or New Zealand dollar? It's on and on and on. Miscommunication. It can get disastrous in aviation. Mind you, aviation is a global subject. If you don't use the common language, you're going to get fixed. Thankfully, for now, we use English as the lingua franca for aviation. But then, nothing like the whole globe having one single unified language to minimize or reduce miscommunication. Thank you, and back to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Raven. I hope I pronounced that correctly. For our next table topics participant, I will ask Rusha Kesh. Rusha Kesh, are you willing to participate?
Yes.
Excellent. And your audio is a little bit low. I don't know if it's because you're not close to the microphone, but please try to speak a little bit louder or turn up your audio. Your question. You are a magical storyteller, and you meet three people. You meet three people. You are a magical storyteller. How will you change these three people's lives? How will you change these three people's lives with your power of effective communication? Rushikesh.
So I'll just rephrase the question. I am a great storyteller, and if I meet three people, how will I change their lives by using my storytelling skills?
Yes.
Okay. So I think to change the life of the people, along with my stories telling skills, I should have good listening skills. because if I don't listen to their problems, I won't be able to use my storytelling to solve their problem. So first, I will use my good listening skills. Let's suppose I have that. And then I will try to understand if they have any, I cannot say any problem, but if they want to get help from myself regarding any topic in which I can help. So I will know their issues, know their problems, and then use my storytelling skills. Maybe tell them the stories. If I have faced the same issues, then I will tell them how I overcome those issues. Otherwise, I will give them examples of the great people which I know who overcome the same issues. Yes. Apart from that, I can help them in any other issues they face regarding the daily communication. As I am a great storyteller, so if they want to learn that skill, I can pass on this skill also to them, because storytelling is kind of a skill which I think makes you a good seller, and which is a great skill. So yeah, that's all which I will do if I am a good storyteller to improve other people's life. Thank you. Back to you.
Outstanding, Toastmaster Rushikesh and Toastmaster Raven. And I know that we have an extended panel discussion. I'll ask the Toastmaster, do I have time for one more, or should we move on?
Let's go for one more.
All right. I see a hand raised. Toastmaster E.T., and I hope that's not for extraterrestrial.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Hello.
Toastmaster E.T. Please, your question. We know the power of effective communication. You are an inventor and you assemble a team. What would you invent to change humanity? What would you change? What would you invent to change humanity with this magnificent team using your effective communication skills? And please attempt to use the word of the day, misinterpretation.
Okay. Am I audible and visible before I start? Clear? Okay, I'll start. Effective communicators, assemble! Ching, 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 ching. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, imagine that we can change the world by our words. How many wars that we can be prevented before it's going to be happen? And most of the wars are or were happening because we have the misinterpretation of how humanity should be. When I read the history, I feel like, oh man, if only there was no misinterpretation that time, there will be no World War I or even World War II or even World War III. If I'm going to marry someone and I will have that kind of World War III. Yes, because of the misinterpretation. And effective communication, it is not just an easy like we say it. It is need to be a meaningful connection. When I get to know to someone, I need to listen more. How I can help them. How I can offer value for them. Or we call it added value. And to be effective, of course, we need a certain indicator. And one of the most important thing is active listening. How you can understand more people better by not doing the speaking part, but doing the listening. So yes, thank you for listening to my speeches. It makes you understand about me more. And now it is not about me, it is about you are becoming a better, effective communicators. Effective communicators, assemble! Ching, 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 ching. Back to you.
Brilliant. 3 magnificent Table Topics participants. Thank you. It has been my immense pleasure to be your Table Topics master today. For today, I'd like to return control of the meeting to our Toastmaster of the day, the inimitable Toastmaster Shine Sunny Park.
Thank you. But before we move on, we have to vote for the best speaker. Emily, if you can help us to have the bulletin board. Thank you. And now you can vote. If you can see. Yes.
Shall I give a timer's report before we vote for the?
Yes, please give us a timer's report. Thank you, Sonia.
Sure. So the first speaker, Raven, spoke for 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Second, Rushkesh spoke for 1 minute and 41 seconds. The third speaker, ET, spoke for 2 minutes and 17 seconds. All are qualified.
Oh, okay. Everybody's qualified. It's okay. You can vote for anybody now. Oh, thank you. We don't have the misinterpretation here, right? All right. Everyone, now it is the exciting session we are all waiting for. And ladies and gentlemen, it is the most intriguing session that all of us have waited for. We will dive into our panel discussion on effective speaking with the world speech champion and finalists. Let me introduce the mastermind behind today's incredible event. Alicia Curtis. Alicia is distinguished Toastmaster from Australia and active in multiple clubs across different regions. And let's call out her name. Alicia! Please be on the stage.
Thank you very much, Shine, our wonderful president here at Young Spirit Toastmasters, a club I joined back in 2020 and continue to still come pretty much on a weekly basis. I absolutely love coming to this club. It was one of the first clubs I joined anywhere in the world back in 2020 during the pandemic. The art of communication, or the art of effective communication, in a world where messages are sent and received in countless ways, whether it's in person, online, or across multiple cultures, our ability to clearly affect and clearly and confidently communicate with empathy has never been more vital. Effective communication is more than just speaking. It's about listening, understanding, and making meaningful connections that inspire action and build trust. Today, we are fortunate to have a fantastic and very diverse panel of experts from the Philippines, Malaysia, and also Thailand calling in to us tonight, who will share their insights and experiences and practical tips on how we can master this essential skill in both personal and professional settings. I invite you to engage, to ask questions, but most importantly, reflect on how you can elevate your own communication to make a lasting impact. So let me introduce my panel for this evening. Are we ready to go, guys? Give us a thumbs up if you're ready to go, okay? Fantastic. And each panelist will come up after I have effectively introduced them. So let me start with Mr. Dave Ross. Dave is an acclaimed speaker, coach, and leader, best known for winning the 1991 World Championship of Public Speaking, the highest honor and award in Toastmasters at the World Championship of Public Speaking. His championship speech captivated a global audience with its compelling story, authenticity, and impactful speech and message, qualities that have since defined both his career and inspired countless other speakers worldwide. Please welcome the 1991 World Champion of Public Speaking, all the way in the Philippines, originally from the USA, Dave Ross, Distinguished Toastmaster. And if we can bring him up to the screen, yay, welcome Dave.
Thank you very much. Now that I have my microphone on, I do want to make sure everybody can hear me. Someone sent me a message. I was a little soft. Is that good?
We can hear you, Dave.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And we're very excited to have you here with us. Our next panelist is none other than Mas Mahathir. He is a distinguished leader, communicator, and educator from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, recognized for his dedication to personal and professional development with a passion for empowering individuals and communities. In 2022, he placed third at the World Championship of Public Speaking. Please welcome all the way from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, Mas Mahathir.
Hello, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
Yep, fantastic. And can I please keep the panelists up with me as I introduce them? Thank you very much. Just as a professional setting, we need to make sure that we have all the panelists. Can we please have myself and all the panelists spotlighted? Thank you very much, including Dave and Mas Mahathir. Everyone has to be spotlighted. Thank you very much. And please bring Mas up and I'll introduce the next person. And our final panelist, not the last and not the least, because he has inspired the world after last year's World Championship of Public Speaking. Fursey Gotuaco is a dynamic speaker, educator, and leadership coach with over 2 decades of experience marketing and empowering individuals and organizations to unlock their full potential. In 2024, he was the World Championship Public Speaking finalist. Please welcome all the way from Bangkok in Thailand, Fursey Gotuaco.
Thank you, Alicia. Hello, fellow panelists.
Fantastic. And I'll get them to say all hello. I'll get them to all unmute. So Dave, say hello to everyone.
Hello to everyone.
Mas, say hello to everyone.
Hello to everyone.
And Fursey.
Hello, everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for calling in from Malaysia, from Philippines, and Thailand. And I'm calling in from Sydney, Australia. Let's get underway and let me introduce our questions. Now, these questions were derived from a couple of the members from the Toastmasters Club, not only at YSTM, but from around the world to understand the art of effective communication. These questions have been provided in advance to the panelists so that they could actually answer them rather than being thrown on the spot, because it's always about being prepared, right? Because we want to make sure that we have effective communication. All right, gentlemen, let's get underway. I'm going to start with Mas first. And one of the questions that was asked, and I'd love to ask you, is what does effective speaking truly mean to you? And now has that definition evolved over your career? So I'll repeat the question. What does effective speaking truly mean to you? And how has that definition evolved over your career? Please welcome Mas.
Thank you so much, Alicia, and great question to start off the event. When I saw the question, effective speaking, it took me back to when I started back in 2016. And when I started, I've always thought that effective speaking means a speaker must be impressive, expressive, and the speaker needs to just do his best to make everybody laugh or have a good time. But it changed after I've gone through Toastmasters and meeting a lot of great speakers, great leaders around the world. I finally found the point that makes effective speaking make sense to me. And I would like to break them down into 3 parts. The first part is an effective speaker needs to know that it is all about the audience and whether their needs are met. Sure, you can impress them, but if their needs are not met, then there's no effective speaking that's taking place. So you must give value. Your audience must get something from the event that they have been longing for. That's why they're there, right? The second thing is clarity of your message. And I think I can't stress this enough. If you have a choice between getting your message to be clear or clever, please choose clarity. Please be clear. Cleverness doesn't always get there, right? So it's all about clarity. But the third layer, which I think is very important, is that when it comes to effective speaking, you judge that based on how the audience is able to talk about it even after you're done speaking. Does your audience come up to you and say, hey, Alicia, that's a great topic that you shared with us today. Dave, your message really inspired me. Fursey, what you said just now resonated with me. Do they talk about that after your speech? If they don't, then it's not really that effective to me. So in order for that to happen, please remember that connection is important as well. So in order to get them to speak about your speech, connect with them. And this is where you can show vulnerability, moments where you are down, that you're not so perfect, you're not so up in the clouds, right? Because nobody can connect with someone who's up there. So remember, number one, needs have to be met. Number two, it's all about clarity. And number three, it's connection. With these three, you will be an effective speaker. Back to you, Alicia.
Thank you very much, Mass. And it is definitely important to make sure that you have connection, clarity, and whatever the other C word was, but we definitely are going to make sure that I don't misinterpret and have any misinterpretation tonight. Yes, I'm just trying to get the word of the day in as well. Hint, hint, gentlemen. One of the questions and one of the things, and this also has misconception attached to it, around misconception of people mastering public speaking. So Dave, the question I want to ask you is, what is the biggest misconception people have about mastering public speaking? What is the biggest misconception that people have about mastering public speaking? Dave?
Thank you, Alicia. You are, by the way, an excellent moderator. I just love it when you do this thing. So thank you for inviting me. I think the biggest misconception that speakers have, and even many Toastmasters, is they put so much value into the written word that they don't understand there's a difference between the spoken word and the written word. They are two different things. They are cousins. They are brothers and sisters, yes, but they're not the same child. When you speak to someone to be most effective with the public, as a public speaker or in a professional situation, it should seem to everyone in the audience, whether there are 2 or 2,000, that you're having a one-on-one conversation with that individual. And the speech that you wrote at midnight at the kitchen table may not have all the appropriate subtleties for a situation where you're giving the presentation at that time. If you think back to the times where you've had a great conversation at a coffee shop, or you listen to something your grandfather said, or perhaps an elder or someone in your worship community that meant so much to you, they probably did not have a memorized script. Probably not. They probably did not refer to their notes. Probably not. And if you are going to become a powerful and effective speaker with connection to your audience, you need to be in the moment that the audience is there. So it's not the word-for-word memorization, it's the message-per-message memorization that makes the communication effective.
Absolutely. And I think that is one thing that a lot of speakers forget, is actually having that connection, having that trust with the audience, and building the trust with the audience. People sometimes put it reflectors that, you know, it's all about them, rather than giving to the audience and making it all about them. And I think that's that bridge of connection. I've seen it a lot over the times, and I hope that we can build trust like we are building tonight, friends. And that's also what we need in speeches, is having that trust, but also having that structure. And Fursey, one of the questions I want to know is, how do you approach structuring a powerful speech from the idea, when you had that concept, as Dave has just alluded to the delivery? So the question is, how do you approach structuring a powerful speech from idea to delivery?
I think that's a really important question. And I think sometimes the answer to that might change depending on where you are in your speaking journey. When we first start out in speaking, we go through the concept of introduction, body, conclusion. And believe it or not, everyone, those are still important all throughout your journey. You still have to have an introduction that gets everybody's attention, the funnel. And then you have to have the body where you're actually examining what is it that you're trying to say, giving examples. And then you have the conclusion. You've got to wrap it all up. So no matter where you are in your journey, those 3 tenets have to be there. They really do. They might look a little bit different. My introductions when I first started out, they're nowhere near what they are now. And I'm sure Dave Ross can talk about his introduction at the World Championship. That required something a little bit different than when he first started out with his icebreaker. And Moss, he keeps developing as a speaker. So his introductions are going to change. And how we come through with the conclusion, woo! I mean, you heard some powerful speakers in our table topics. They all came through with some very different kinds of conclusions. So where we are in our journey, that will determine how we evolve as speakers as well. That said, consider your point of view as a speaker, and as my two colleagues have talked about, the point of view of the audience. As a speaker, we tend to look at it from one side. This is my story, and I'm going to tell my story. And so when we're starting out speaking, we put a whole lot of attention in the structure of our speech on ourselves. My story, my experience, what I discovered, and how important it was to me. And you know your story like your fingerprints. Now here's the problem. Here's the problem, Sonia. We look at our story, right, Brian? We look at our story from one side, but the audience is over here. Now, Amelie, what's the audience seeing? No fingerprints. Does this make sense, Jack? It's not always about seeing the fingerprints. So when we're first starting out speaking, we tend to focus on this side of the story, what it means from our heart. Right, Armand? As we get more experience, we start to realize, oh, it's about how it was received. It's about what the audience hears. It's about having enough evidence, having enough supporting material in our speech that the audience can hook into and they can grasp it. So make sure that you're structuring your speech in such a way that it can be received. Here's a very basic example. I'm going to give you a speech in English. The problem is my entire audience does not speak English. I know my fingerprints so well, but I forgot. They're seeing knuckles and fingernails and fingerprints. Excuse me. I'm still looking at fingerprints that I forget they're looking at fingernails. I learned this as a teacher when my whole class full of students was English second language. Better adjust, Fursey, because they don't understand English. They're speaking Spanish. In 2 days, I'm going to be speaking to an audience here in Tokyo. Am I making adjustments to make sure that my audience can understand me? I better, or I'm going to fail as a speaker, no matter how touching my story is. So making sure that you're looking at your structure from the point of view of the audience and how best to get them to engage, I think that's a critical question that we always all have to answer.
Thank you, Fursey. And yes, understanding the audience, especially cross-cultural, and we have a very cross-cultural dynamic happening here on the screen tonight, whether it's a misinterpretation from me yet again, or it is a wonderful group of people from all around the world, whether from Kenya, the USA, Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, Australia. It doesn't matter. We are a very unique and a very multicultural community. And that's some of the things I really love about Toastmasters. I remember back in 2020, when the whole thing happened, I was a test speaker over in Qatar, and there was 1,000 people on that call when I was the test speaker. And I can tell you, I had to change that speech 20 times. I went all around the world to practice that speech, and it was a very difficult time online to be able to understand what I was going to have to deliver to the Middle East. So yes, understanding and making sure that you don't misinterpret and you communicate effectively to your audience. And one of the things I really do like is when we're looking at improving our speeches, and I had to improve as I mentioned before, is we have to get coached. And Mas, one of the things is, I know that you're now a coach, a public speaking coach. I know Dave and I also know Fursey are also public speaking coaches, and you do it professionally like the other two as well. What are three of the top elements you would focus on when coaching someone to improve their speaking? What are you looking for as a coach and for them as a speaker to be authentic and trustful and trusting to the audience?
That's a great question. May I ask the floor here? Anyone of you as a Toastmasters member, have you actually got a mentor who mentored you in your speaking journey? Anyone? Just a show of hands. Anyone? Okay, we have a few here. Well done. So as you meet your mentor, I'm sure some of you would have the mindset, right, where you're given a chance to choose who your mentors are. And some of us, when we choose our mentors, we choose someone who resonates with us, who connects with us, and who jives well with us, right? It is no different from a coach as well. First of all, when we try to engage a coach, or if you want to engage a coach, you got to see whether the coach and you have similar styles. If not, there could have a potential clash between you and the coach. The coach may have a different idea, you may have a different idea. But let's just say everything's good. You and the coach, you guys can work together, you guys can vibe well together. Then what's next, right? So when it comes to coaching, there are three elements. Well, I like to use C's because C's are so many words you can use with C's, right? So yeah. So when it comes to a speaker being more authentic, to be a more impactful, effective speaker, it all boils down to, again, as I mentioned earlier, is the clarity, conviction, and also connection. So clarity, we all know. As long as the message is clear, you got it. Connection, we all know as well. You got to use stories that connects with them, make it more relatable, something that everyone goes through, and you can, put yourself into that story, make it universal enough where we all can relate to it. That's how we're gonna go. But on top of those two C's, there is still one other C which I think is equally as important. And this, for me as a coach, I would see, does the speaker or does the coachee speaks with conviction or not? And this to me is by far one of the most important element. Now, what does speaking with conviction mean? It means that, are you presenting this speech for the sake of presenting it because you just prepared a speech for a contest or whatever not, and you're just going to go on stage and deliver the speech? Or are you actually speaking or presenting this speech from the heart? There's a big difference where you can actually see a person who speaks with conviction and a person who speaks without conviction. A person who speaks with conviction, you could see the micro expressions that they give out when they speak. You could see the body language is different. The energy, the aura is just completely different. So I would always ask them, is this something that you truly resonate with? Is this a speech that really holds dear to your heart or not? If not, then perhaps we have to find a speech that you really feel it. So that is one thing, conviction. So when you're crafting your presentations and when you're seeking out a coach, please keep in mind, write something or prepare something that really touches your heart. Don't come up with any fluff or any fake stories that, that is out there, because I've seen this happen before. There are some speakers who totally told a complete lie in a speech, and you could really tell from an audience point of view. So find a speech that you truly are passionate about, you truly connect with it. And that's where the coach can help you take you from an A to a double A or a triple A. Back to you, Alicia.
Thank you very much, Mas. Yeah, absolutely. And something that you can relate to. I mean, I don't know about you guys and everyone else in the audience. I've heard some people talk about things that they have no idea that they're talking about. And all of a sudden, we're being educated on maybe a pen, or maybe we're being educated on lipstick. And the person decided to use ChatGPT and to become an expert. And yes, I have seen that recently. And I'm like, be a little bit more trustful of yourself and believe in what you're going to deliver, but also become an expert before you deliver on something like lipstick and telling us how to apply it and to do it. I mean, sometimes there are some very interesting speeches out there. Right, Dave? Absolutely. And Dave, that now leads me into asking you a question. Inspirational messages. Like, I think that we're having a lot of inspiration here, just being here online in the presence of a world champion finalist, world champion runner-up. And one of the questions I would love to know, and one that was asked by about 2 or 3 of the members was, what is a speech, and I'm not going to ask from someone else, but from yourself, that has actually inspired or changed you, especially when it comes around to authenticity and being able to connect? Mass has brought up this clarity, conviction, and connection. Is there one that really stands out for you, especially around the World Championship of Public Speaking, other than yours?
Okay, there are actually so many speeches that have been powerful. If you'll indulge me, I will take 3 individual speeches that I experienced. And one was just a conversation on an aircraft. We're flying to Alaska. I'm sitting next to a British lady. This was a long flight, and there was no entertainment, so you're forced to talk to people. As it turned out, there were numerous of us on the aircraft who had been to Alaska before. A lot of us were in the military, so we knew about it. And this British woman had never been there before. So we're telling her what to do, what to see, where to go, all this stuff. And she said, this is the trip of my lifetime. And I appreciate it, but I can't do all of this. I said, well, you could come back. And then she said, this was her speech, her entire speech that had the impact to change my life. She said, you don't understand. This is my trip of my lifetime. I'm ill, and I won't be able to come back. Even on the aircraft, you could have heard a pin drop. That was powerful. I will never forget her. In fact, she worked for Arsenal, the football club. I have to make sure I say it properly because I'm going to call it a soccer team, but the football famous, one of the great football clubs in Europe and in England. I used to support Manchester United. I became an Arsenal fan, but that wasn't the change. The change was do the things that matter when you can. The second speech was David Brooks, his international championship speech. He, by the way, is one of my just a marvelous speaker. But beyond that, that speech, it changed me. In fact, it allowed me to win the world championship the next year because I saw what he did. I didn't imitate it, but I understood what he did, how he got to the audience, how he was sharing something very profound, and it just came from the end and really got you. Now, my speech was not, you look those side by side, you see there's no similarity, but the techniques that he used were instructive to me. But the third speech that was powerful and a motivator to me in many ways was when I was sitting one summer in our living room with my grandmother, and we were watching Martin Luther King give his what's referred to as the I Have a Dream speech. I watched the tears well in my grandmother's eyes. I heard the words of this man speak. I knew what he was talking about and felt the importance of it all. There was no misinterpretation, not from our house. It was powerful. And as Forrest Gump would say, that's about all I have to talk about that.
Fantastic, Dave. One of the things I remember when I watched your speech for the first time, I was absolutely glued. Who here has actually watched Dave's speech from the World Championship of Public Speaking? Put your hand up. Am I one of the very few here that's actually watched this? Okay, guys, if you really want to watch an opening that is going to blow you away, this guy yells it, all aboard, and I'm not going to yell because it's almost 10 o'clock here at night. All aboard, there's a train rolling. And it was one of the most powerful and influential openings for me that I have ever seen. That for me is the one that nailed it when it comes to openings. And I just want to say that's what hit it for me when it comes to the World Championship of Public Speaking. If I could take this person, that person, that person, that person, you would have the perfect speech. We all know that. But there are different things on each one. And I think, everyone connects. I remember when Mass came out with a cute little bow with a little red bow, and Fursey, when you jumped up on the chair, everyone has something memorable in their speech. And I think this is really important when we think about as speakers, how can we be memorable? What can we actually do? And how do we actually improve, not only in the physical sense or when we look at the content and the delivery, but the content and improving ourselves to become the next best version of ourselves, Fursey. And how do we improve our speaking? What is it, even after achieving global recognition like you did last year? What is it that we can improve to become that next best version of ourselves and the best speaker that we can be?
That's the most important challenge that we face, isn't it? Our own growth every single day. And I think one of the most important things we can do as speakers is to watch and observe humanity, watch people's interactions. What is it that people are trying to achieve when they try to connect with each other? And you can watch people in a grocery store and see, I don't want to be trite with the word of the day, but you can see where there's miscommunication, misconnection, misinterpretation, all of that. You can see all of the misses. And you going, why? Why did they miss? Has that ever happened in my life? Yeah. I could do a speech about that. And there you go. You're off and running. But you're basing your speech, you're basing your topic, you're basing your message on what you see in life and what you've experienced in life. Right? You're combining all of that. And that stems from you seeing what's out there. The second half to that is, are you being critical with your eyes and your ears? By critical, I don't mean just negative. By critical, I mean, are you really seeing things? Are you really hearing the speeches that you hear and see in your clubs? The speeches that you see and hear from other clubs? Are you evaluating? Not evaluating to say good, bad, evaluating to say, oh, how does this compare? In your clubs, are you evaluating and being critical with your fellow Toastmasters and saying, last year, you did this, this, this. This year, you're doing this, this, this. Are we helping each other grow? When you can do that, when you can help people grow, you're going to grow. Because you have acknowledged it, you've seen it, you've cognitively understood it, and now you can include it. And I think people forget that. People ask me, Fursey, how do you get good? I'm like, well, I used to think it was because I was speaking all the time in front of kids, but it's not. It's because for 30 years I was grading homework. For 30 years, I'm on the director side watching students 8 hours a day, giving feedback, giving feedback, giving feedback, giving feedback. I'm seeing it from the audience point of view, not from the stage. I don't think I would have grown as a speaker simply by standing at a microphone. I think I grew as a speaker by watching and having to give feedback. So go ahead, give each other feedback. Go ahead, challenge yourself. How many other ways can I take a look at this? And you're going to get really good. Back to you, Alicia.
Thank you very much, Fursey. Yeah, if you look at things and look at through, through a perspective and through the looking glass, like Alice in Wonderland did back in the days in Alice in Wonderland, and not misinterpret, but be able to understand and really have that availability to really have an impulse to learn and look through and say, what is it that I can actually deliver? How can I become better? And I think this is one of the things that has really shone through on this panel discussion tonight is actually having that authenticity, having the clarity, having the conviction, having the connection, and being true to your own self and your own inner self. Because if you're not true, then who is going to believe you? Because you have to be believable at the end of the day. And I think this is something that, you know, I tried multiple styles of speech. I'm sure the guys here have also tried different styles, whether they're going to be humorous, whether they're going to be entertaining, whether they're going to be really serious, or whether they're just going to have the really cool speech. And in fact, one of my favorite speeches that I delivered was about Pizza Hut. Yep, I just sat and talked about Pizza Hut. I know it sounds a ridiculous speech, but everyone enjoyed it because it was so simple, but it was something that was relatable. And that's why I always encourage people, talk about something that you bring to life and something that you believe in. Now, I'm just going to throw out a really quick question because I know some people in the audience may want to ask a question as well. What's one tip you would say to all of our aspiring, hopeful world champions of public speaking, both here on the panel, because one may be at the World Championship of Public Speaking, Mr. Mass, and future champions who are in the room with us? What is one tip? And I'll ask for a word, one word. Dave, one word.
One word?
Yep, one word.
Coaching.
Coaching, okay. Mass.
Start.
Start, okay. Fursey.
Connect.
All right, start coaching and connecting. That's what the boys have said. Start coaching and connecting. Now, we do have time for probably one or two questions, and I am going to ask the floor. We have gone through most of the questions that were asked. Does anyone please raise your hand, use the raise hand function? Hopefully a woman will actually ask a question here because I'd like to have a bit of girl power here with me. Does anyone, any other females or any other boys on the floor like to ask a question of our world champions of public speaking finalists, semi-finalist, and winner? Does anyone have a question that they are dying to ask our panelists here? Okay, 5, 4, 3. Okay, Brian Kim, Mr. Area Director himself. Brian.
Thank you, moderator Alicia, and good evening, my fellow panelists. I just want to start off by saying that I was so impressed by all of your speeches, all of your feedback on how we should aim to become more effective communicators. It's something it's an issue that I've been contemplating recently, because although we all mean well and we are all here to grow, sometimes we meet people who are not as, how should I say it, enthusiastic as we are. Some of them might be reluctant. Some of them might have started their journey with such enthusiasm, but at some point they feel burnt out. I'm having a tough time on how to approach to them to help them rejuvenate their energy and move on with their journeys. In that sense, I would want to get any of the panelists to share any tips on specifically motivational speeches on how to connect with the audience in their perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. So I'll start with Fursey and then we'll go Dave and Mass.
I think it is so critical that we remember that everyone is in Toastmasters because of something that they needed outside of Toastmasters. We didn't join Toastmasters for DCP points, and we didn't join Toastmasters to be good Toastmasters. But Shine, you joined Toastmasters because there was something out there that you needed from in here. Juhi, what did you need? What were your goals? Jack, what are your goals? You get folks who are as polished as Ronnie. It's like, Ronnie, what are your goals outside of Toastmasters? So when we go in as evaluators, right, we're individual evaluators and we're asking him, hey, so what are your project, this, that, yeah. Oh, ask those questions if you want, but get to the important question. And that is, what's your goal outside of Toastmasters? Now, how can I give you feedback on your speech that's going to help you out there? And maybe out there is in your work, and maybe out there is, Fursey, I want to learn how to better connect with my kids. Well, let me help you with that. Let me watch your speech. Let me talk to you about your project. And let me give you a tip on what you did well here or what you could do so that you can better connect with your son or daughter. But let's be there for each other. Let's make Toastmasters relevant. And that's going to reinvigorate, because then it's not about the knowledge. It's not about the skill. It's about the people. Always has been. I think it always should be.
Thank you, Fursey. Instead of having MAGA, let's have MTAGA, whatever it is, MTGA, making Toastmasters great again. What does everyone think? Making Toastmasters great again? I'm trying to... Oh, I can see Dave going, okay, Dave, what should I call it? You're on the screen now.
The act of continuous improvement with Toastmasters begins and ends with the member. And just as Fursey said, how will it affect them on the outside? But also in the meeting, are they having fun? Or do they get called on table topics regularly? Are they speaking enough? Are they meeting their goals? Do they have a mentor who's interested in their future? Is this an environment where people grow and have fun together? You know what else is important? There is a cereal in the United States called Post Toasties. After Toastmasters, Post Toasty, get together. All of those things are important. Some of my closest, dearest friends for decades, and I do mean decades because I'm that old, have come from Toastmasters. And if you're not building friendships, if you're not having fun, if you're not meeting the needs, as Fursey said, outside of Toastmasters, why am I here? Again, not to get DCP points, I need to know this family. I need to know this is family. Those of us who are here right now, I bet, think of Toastmasters as family, because we've come from all over the world, some in the middle of the night, some in the evening, to come together. But that's the thing. Promote the family, have fun, wear costumes, be serious, cry, laugh, because that's what we do in a family.
Fantastic, Dave. Absolutely. And I consider everyone here a part of my beautiful family in Toastmasters, whether you're in Malaysia, Kenya, Australia, the USA, Philippines, wherever, Korea, wherever, you're part of my family. I remember back in 2020, does anyone remember when I dressed as a dinosaur? I actually used to go to Toastmasters in a dinosaur outfit with an elephant head. I have to pull this thing out of storage and I have to come back as either a dinosaur or a unicorn. And then you can see the ultimate family moment and a family picture. Maybe I could do that next time as a panel discussion. We can have a whole panel of us dressed as unicorns and spiders and goodness knows what. Mass, what do you reckon? Do you reckon you should join us on the panel for spiders, unicorns, dragons, dinosaurs, whatever?
Totally up for it. If I have the costume, I would. In fact, I did join one of the Toastmasters meeting. I bought myself if some of you know Pokemon, there's this little yellow duck. I have that costume. I put it on. It's a bit hot, but it does make the meeting so much more lively when everyone is just having fun with that. But just to add on one additional point, which I think is equally as important, I believe everybody who comes into Toastmasters, we don't come in to become a leader, right? But in some way or another, we are leaders, especially for those who have been in Toastmasters for a while. We are leading and guiding the new members. So there's always one thing which helped me a lot, and I believe as my past members have done for me as well, is do you actually spend one-on-one time with your mentees, with your new members? Do you actually sit down and talk to them, aside from just Toastmasters or their goals or whatnot, which is very important? But do you actually get to know them on a personal level, which I think is equally as important? In organization, in companies, a leader, if they don't take the time to sit down with their employees to just get to know them, it's going to be a relationship that has friction because you don't know them, they don't know you, and there's going to be some things that will pull each of them apart. So find time, sit down, talk to them on a personal level, get to know them. And I think this will actually help to reignite and to find that spark again. Yeah, back to you, Alicia.
Thank you very much, Matt. We're now going to wrap up today's session. We've had clarity, we've had conviction, we've also had connection. But the boys have said with one word, start connecting now, and start with the connection now, and have a coach and a mentor. Thank you to all three gentlemen who are calling in from the Philippines, Malaysia, and Thailand. Thank you, Dave, our 1991 world champion of public speaking, our world champion of public speaking third place getter from 2022, Mas Mahathir, and also Fursey Gotuaco, the World Championship of Public Speaking finalist from 2024. We're now going to take a photo, so I will ask Emily if we can please take a photo of us. Yes, boys, and if you want, we'll do a serious one because they want serious and then they want the whole, I'll explain the why as well because that's their branding. So if we can do a serious one, like a really cool and serious one, are you there, Emily?
Yes, I'll take that
Okay.
here.
Let us know
Okay.
when to, can you yell it out to us in 3, 2, 1?
Okay. First pause. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the second one.
Like we'll do an unserious one.
E. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay, and then a bit of a interesting one.
Okay. 1, 2. Uh,
Have you taken it?
yes.
Okay, and then we'll do, okay, this is the Y for YSTM. So they always have a photo at the end and you'll all get to be a part of it. 3, 2, okay, Emily? Are you there, Emily? Shine?
One moment. Sorry. Okay, I will repeat. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you very much, Emily. So thank you to the gentlemen. I'm now going to hand conduct and control of the meeting back to our president and Toastmaster of the day here at Young Spirit Toastmasters, the world's best club, the most fun and engaging club in the universe, Shine Park, the divine Shine. Thank you very much, Shine.
Thank you so much for the amazing event that you held and also the inspiring speeches that you gave. Coaching, start, and connect. That's what we are doing right now, isn't it? With the great coaches that we have. And I actually made a shortcut by not introducing this session, panel discussion. But Serena, when she's going to deliver her evaluation, she's going to talk about this project, Alicia's project, a little bit, and she will give us the evaluation. I'm sorry, Serena. And another thing, we wouldn't have a short break because time is already 8:51. So let's move on to the evaluation session. Let's call our general evaluation Haekyung Lim. Please call Serena the last. Thank you.
Thank you, Shainbang. Now, I'd like to invite our evaluator, Serena Bang, who is from Visual Master. Please welcome her to the screen, everybody.
No. Serena is, oh, sorry. Oh, did you call someone else? I'm sorry. Serena will deliver the evaluation later.
Yeah. Otherwise, I should do the impromptu one. Speech just finished. So Shine asks you to give me a little bit of time to summary of my Haekyung? Haekyung?
Oh, yeah.
Can you go with the other evaluator first and then I'll go at the last.
Oh, sorry.
That's what she's meant.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Then I will invite our accounter, and then please welcome our accounter, Sonia, to the spot. No, sorry. David M. Wangi. Please welcome him to the screen, everybody.
Thank you so much, Hegyung Lim, for that introduction. And again, my name is David, and I'm back with the report on the R's that I counted during the meeting today. And I did notice that I counted an unhealthy number of R's from most of the speakers. And I would like to especially commend the panel for having a very, very, very long discussion and very, very few filler words that I caught in between. I think I was only able to get I think 2 R's from Alicia, 1 R from Mars, and Mars also repeated the 2 times. And Dave Laws said and then which was a repetition of a filler word. And apart from that, I think Fursey was almost perfect, or I missed it. But anyway, that was amazing for the 4 panelists, considering the length of the time that you spoke. Hegyung, I got a few R's from you, and Lucy Kesh, a few R's from you as well. Sonia, a number of R's from you, and also from Brian. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, David and Wangi. Now I introduce our grammarian. This grammarian is Hyekyung Im, and then I will say some good sentences in our panelists and others. First of all, when I will say some good expressions in the speaking. First thing, when I put myself in his shoes, I could understand my husband. The second, we will have intriguing session. And then third, the second thing is the clarity of your message. Fourth, the connections to the audience is very important. And fourth, some speakers put too much work in written text and don't memorize the script. Think of message to message. It's very emotional when I listen to these kinds of sentences. And the last one is this. Consider your point of view as a speaker. And as a speaker, you needed to look at one scene. These are my grammarian reports. And then now, before I give you some summary, I would like to call for our timers report for speakers. Could you please tell the speakers the time lag?
Yes.
Our
Alicia.
timer, Sonia Im.
Thank you. So Alicia's panel discussion, it took 43 minutes and 47 seconds, and I had to cut in the middle of her photo taking time. Wasn't sure of the actual final point of her project. And her project was supposed to be between 20 to 40 minutes, and I'm not sure how much time can be given for grace time. Anyway, so it took 43 minutes and 47 seconds.
Thank you, Sonia. And then, so is it my time to give you some summary, or I need to invite our evaluator?
Thank you.
Okay, please welcome our evaluator, Serena Bar, who is from Visual Master. Please welcome up to the screen, everybody.
Hello. It was a wonderful session, the panel discussion. Actually, I have to do this project by myself as well. So I learned a lot today's session. So before I fully evaluate, panel discussion is a one type of the medium we can hear very intensively over one specific topic. So today including me, I guarantee, I bet every one of you really fully enjoyed the session. I'd like to go for the speaker, the moderator did a good job. Firstly, it was really excellent choice of a panel topic. So given that we are all Toastmaster, we are here to learn how to speak, how to learn this thing. So it's excellent choice of the theme, effective speaking. And second one is excellent choice of panels. Who could have recruited such a three excellent world champion and keynote speakers? So I'm really envious and also jealous of Alicia. How could she has done this? Can I get that tips later on? And thirdly, structure was fantastic. Introduction of herself as a moderator, and later on, she introduced the three panelists one by one, each of the, their short bio and where they come from and everything in short. And also, a little bit, I was worried about how she could handle the physical setting of this Zoom setting because so many people, it could be very distracting. So I was, this should be my kind of working on the room to improve upon, but it was not like that. She already prepared the Zoom immersive video setting. So moderator and three panelists all fully in our screen. So we could fully enjoy and we could concentrate without any disruption. That was wonderful. And she shared her questionnaire early on. So three panelists prepare. So it was very well organized up until the late. But still, we are here for learning, something to improve upon too, right? So if I give you 2 cents, let's see. Maybe the theme itself was quite broad. So why couldn't she maybe narrow down a little bit more? Then we can narrow down and the deeper one because it was too many things all at once. So a little bit overwhelmed. Second one is time management. I know you guys were so excellent in everything, so we'd love to hear everything, but moderators should have done that time cutting. I know it's very difficult, challenging, but still, it's a mission for moderator to do it professionally and with respect. Then she could have finished that within time. But overall, it was a really wonderful session. So I look forward to another great session. Back to you.
Thank you, Sabrina, for your detailed evaluation of our great speaker, Alicia Curtis. Before I move on to our next session, I would like to call for our timers report from Sonia. Sonia, over to you.
Thank you. Serena Park, she evaluated for 30 minutes and 37 seconds. So she is sadly disqualified. Thank you. Back to Haekyung.
Thank you, Sonia. Now it's time to give a brief summary of our whole meeting. First of all, I would like to be very grateful to our panelist and moderator, Alicia Curtis, for leading this great session. Thank you so much for that. And then please give a warm round of applause of them. Thank you. And then now, first of all, I would say that it was very wonderful session with our great panelists and moderator. And then I could learn or including me, our audience, and including me, could learn how we deliver effective speech and how we lead this kind of speech session with our moderators. So it was very great time for us to learn some kind of very good speech session. The second, I would say that our great evaluator was wonderful to give us some tips or some improvements for our speaker. And then next, best of all, I am very happy to have all of the people from the world and other Toastmaster clubs, and so I'm very thankful to you all for attending our club. Then, but there is a minor suggestion, as our grammarian had gone without any notice from his role, and then so I just cover for his role. And then so when we have some roles in the meeting, so we have to be present in the meeting. This is very important for having a meeting in the meeting, having a meeting. And then so this is my suggestion. And then so all of our role takers very good to lead their duty, lead their sessions, and thank you so much for that. Yeah, that's all. And then I'm very grateful to you all for attending today's meeting. And then now I will return my control back to our Toastmaster Shaima. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Haekyang Lim. I'm very sorry about the misunderstanding when we were talking about the time. Actually, Alicia's project is this is quite a distinctive and different project. So the time limit is actually until 40 minutes. So her 43-minute, I think it is definitely qualified. We should give her the award. Do you guys agree? And now let's move on to the final session for the award ceremony. This is the time for the last part. So guys, just hold on. It's okay. Just a few more minutes. Okay. Now let's begin with the best speaker award. Even though we only have one, everybody roll a drum. Alicia Curtis. Please give us, appreciation speech shortly.
Thank you. Thank you. I will be really quick and say thank you to the panelists and thank you to everyone for staying and listening. We had about 36 people throughout the course of tonight's meeting, which is the biggest crowd that we've had at this club for almost 3 or 4 years. So we are very happy with the turnout and we thank everyone. And I thank everyone for, especially the panelists, for being prepared ahead of time. And I don't want to talk anymore because I've done enough talking for the night.
Thank you so much, Alicia. It was such a great work. I was very inspired as well. And next is best table topic speaker. This person, even though with this kind of pressure that we have, he made it. He did the impromptu speech very well. He is Rushi. Give us the appreciation speech.
Oh, thank you everyone for voting for me. So I kind of just said what my manager does to me. So I have a manager who is a very good listener, and though he supports me in everything I do, he's very good storyteller, but for most of the time he's listening only and he talks very less. So whatever I said, I just remembered him and answered the question, whatever he does. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Rushkeshi. And even though we do not have the best evaluator tonight, I am really thankful that Sarana really helped me to evaluate this session. It was probably really difficult job that she did, but I'm really proud that she made it. And okay, now it is time to wrap up our the adventure that we had. It was really amazing, everyone. And thank you for joining us. We're not going to have the sign up time and the last photo time because we've done it with the photo time with Alicia, so we don't have to do it. But let me personally thanks the great panelists we have here, and everyone, please give a big round of applause for our panelists. It's really awesome that they actually made such an incredible event for us to learn about coaching and listening. And I learned how we can connect with our audience through delivering the stories from our hearts, right? It was really amazing. And now we have to say goodbye. But thank you, everybody, for joining our club meeting. It was really amazing. Thank you. And
Can we have
now
a photo?
maybe if, oh,
Last
really?
photo. Yeah.
Last
Can
photo?
we have, yes, can we have it again?
Sure. Is that okay? Just a few seconds?
Okay. 2 poses again. The first one, you can do any pose that you like, and the second one, put Y under your face, okay? For the first one, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. For the second one, please put Y under your face for YSTM, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
So much.
Back to you,
And
Shine.
thank you. And lastly, really shortly, from the panelists, because I see Alicia almost every week these days, can we ask how they felt about this discussion and also meeting tonight? First, Dave Ross, I'm sorry, like Dave Ross, would you like to be on the stage, please?
Thank you very much. It was wonderful. It was great. Alicia does a marvelous job, not only as a panel moderator, but the behind the scenes work, putting it together, making sure we all showed up, all of that. Great job. And I enjoyed this group, this international body that assembled. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. And the next person, Fursey, could you be on the stage? Thank you.
Thank you. I do appreciate Alicia for all her work, and I'm going to echo exactly what Dave said. That's really one of the hardest parts is organizing, recruiting, making sure that we've got questions in advance. Absolutely terrific. How many of you are going to be at the district conference next weekend?
Woo-hoo!
Make sure, see this hand? You make sure to come over and high five this hand when I see you there. All right. There you go, Sonia. There you go, Rodell. You high five this when you get there. Now, I'm going to tell you one last thing. All right. As an online club, when you take your photos, and I understand you want to do this for one of them, but for one of the other photos, take a photo with everybody sending up reactions. It makes it look so energetic. When you put this sucker out on Facebook or wherever, Instagram, it's going to look that much more interesting. Just a thought. Anyway, back to you.
Thank you so much. I guess Mas left already,
Yes,
right?
he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's okay. Please say thank you personally, Alicia, for me.
Yep.
And everybody, thank you for joining us. It was such an amazing meeting, and congratulations for all winners and the people who joined our meeting. And let's call off the day. Bye, everybody.
Hey,
Thank
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.